Hello, it's been, I don't know, a week maybe. I'm now moved into my new place with Nico. This is Sunday, moved in Thursday evening. Thursday evening was spent unpacking, just moving stuff into the house, and I just went to bed. Friday unpacking, and then setting up and playing my guitar. Yesterday, I don't even know, I went for did a bit of shopping, which took like 2 hours or so, 2.5 hours. Did a bit of reading, I don't know what else. Watched an episode of The Pacific, Bojack, some Adventure Time. That noise is not helpful. Neighbours. Did some cooking. Yep. Today, spent probably 2 hours reading. I don't know, got up at 8, meditated. Did reading, breakfasted, guitar. Spent some time planning because I'm doing my planning for next year, what I want to do. I made a video a couple of weeks back called Luke's Big Bike Ride, I believe, and I kind of like that idea. I've just been on a walk around Bundoora Reserve Park. I saw 2 groups of 20 kangaroos, each group about 20 meters away from me behind some fencing, which was quite fascinating, pretty awesome. Yeah, that was good. I noticed just walking in nature just allayed my anxiety quite a bit, because I started feeling pretty anxious earlier. I noticed I made porridge for tomorrow morning, and I kept going back to eat a bit of it out of pure boredom, because I felt I should be doing something more productive than planning my trip for next year. I felt I was like procrastinating, so I went for a walk, and then eventually in the walk I started feeling anxious again, because I had to go back on myself, because it ended up going into a golf course, so I had to go back on myself, and I started feeling anxiety, which was interesting. So I jogged the way back. I did, I don't know, 2 to 3k, probably near 3k. On the way back, holding my jumper and jacket. So yeah, I don't know what this update is going to be. I guess I'll talk a bit more, a general update, I guess. But I am more confident about doing my cycling tour next year. I think I definitely would. I did my finances this morning, and overall I learned what was it? I don't know what it was. It was like $21,000 or $22,000, or 24,000, something like that. I don't know. Say $24,000, or $22,000 Australian for 6 months of work. That equals, I don't know what it equated to, something like 12,000, 13,000 British pounds, after taxes this is as well. And then I did all my expenses, but basically if I go back to the UK after living pretty frugally, selling 1,000 Australian dollars worth of stuff like my guitar, my amp, my bike, my LPs back home, basically I'll have just under 12,000. It was like £11,987, I believe it was. So something around 11 to 12k if I live frugally, if our bills aren't too expensive, if I don't spend stuff on crazy things and spend money on crazy things and whatever. I'll go back with like 12k. That should be enough to fund a bike setup and stuff, and I'll reuse some of the stuff, recycle some of the stuff I had from my last trip. And then I don't know, I guess I'll just go. I plan my route to some extent. So yeah, and I think I'd like to wild camp a lot of it, and ask a lot of people if I can stay with them or make friends with people. I don't know, talk to locals, be a bit more sociable maybe on this trip. I don't know, it'd be interesting, but I think it's what I would like to do. one of the reasons is because I don't know what else I'd want to do. The idea of the van life thing, so of living in a van and working, software developing and travelling around, with a bike in the back, software developing and cycling as I go and exploring. Sounds good, and it still sounds, pretty relatively feasible. The only thing that isn't very feasible is the software developing part, so I'm not really certain. I'm not nearly as certain anymore that this is what I want to do. Freelancing. And I think that's partly, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the main reason is, but I just am realising more and more that I really like just being outdoors and physically labouring. I'm enjoying this job. It's fucking weird, but I'm almost like looking forward to working tomorrow. But anything to do with coding, like the idea of going back to doing my website or whatever, I feel a bit of anxiety. I feel a bit like quite a bit of resistance. Enough resistance to basically ensure enough resistance to prevent me, from doing it on my days off. Like today and yesterday, I just feel no desire whatsoever to program. I don't know exactly why this is. Maybe because I need to, as I said before, break it down into smaller tasks. But I just don't think I like the idea of it as much anymore. It'd be nice to have and everything, but I don't know if I really want to do it. I want to do it full time as a job. Maybe I will. It'd be nice to have a couple of websites up and running for when I go away. Places to journal and put up videos, and maybe I'll vlog, put them on websites, or I'll have updates as I go, pictures. I might get DSLR and get a photo blog going. I don't know. I can't really tell. I can't really say what the motivations are, but for some reason, having my freedom. I was reading more of this earlier, and I'm quite far in now. I'm like 80 pages until finishing. And she's talking about like the resignation route, the resignation solution, which is about like resigning from daily tasks, even like resigning from jobs, from having any responsibility, not wanting to commit to any relationship, not wanting to commit to, not even wanting to have letters written you because of the feeling of having to write back. Basically any sort of latching, any sort of commitment is scary, fearful, because you feel it imposes upon you, and it restricts, it constrains, it's a constraint, it restrains your freedom, so it's the appeal of freedom, but it's a negative freedom, because it's not like a freedom, it's not like you're doing freedom for something, it's like a freedom from, you want to be free from all these constraints. You're not actually doing something to be free for something, if that makes sense. I can't really think of an example, but I understand what she means by you want to be free of all these commitments. And I think that's similar to me in this sense, because I want to be free from, I quit my jobs before because I didn't like this commitment of having to be there at this time and do this and this, but at the same time I'm quite enjoying it with this job, even though sometimes I'm like the last one there. I'm sometimes pretty late to this job, even though I'm enjoying it, and that's probably partly because I just don't like the idea of authority and you have to be here at this time or whatever. I don't know. Partly as well why I want to do this trip is because I'm not happy with my body. Yesterday I felt really bad. Felt really down pretty quickly, just about being a bit chubby. It's not even like I'm fat, it's just I've got chubber, and that's getting me down more than I'd like it to. One of the reasons I was looking forward to this job, because I think it'd help me lose weight, and hopefully being in my own place I'll start eating healthy and cooking every night. playing guitar more. I started learning In the Shadow of the Horns and Can't You Hear Me Knocking. Yesterday and today, and the day prior. That'll go fine. But yeah, the main gist of this is that that's what I'd like to do. I think I'd like to do my big bike ride tomorrow, next year. Save money for it, sell a load of stuff to fund it. Partly because, yeah, I just don't know what else I'd want to do. I really don't. I don't think I want to just program. I don't think I want to. Maybe I'll write when I travel more. Maybe I'll get back into writing over here. But that's not sustainable. And I don't think it's going to be good for my mental health if I'm just cooped up, like writing each day. I don't think I could do that. I think it'd lead me to depression. You know, if I'm just living with my parents, or even if I have my own place. Yeah, one of the things, again, yeah, just, I don't know, just living in a city, living in a town. Yeah, I'm in a suburb now, and when I cycle through different suburbs to where I work, I don't know, just the busyness, even in the morning, it has like a really, really subtle subconscious effect on me, I guess, because just going for that walk now, I felt a bit free. I was just watching these kangaroos, and I don't know, it just made me feel a bit happy, because I was just like, they're just chilling around. At one point, when I first approached the fence, there were 10 of them at least, probably, yeah, 10 to a dozen, just looking at me, staring at me, chewing, and that's it. I just thought they live so simply. There's no need to. They don't feel anxiety or whatever. And yeah, I know. I'm getting into that presence stuff. And I remember Eckhart Tolle's example about, I think it's a duck. I think it was his example, but it was about a duck. Like, look at a duck. It's just present. It's just going about its day, not worrying and stuff. Oh shit.